Hi everyone, Katarina here. Welcome back to another lovely tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how I made this gorgeous little gift box slash bag for the card that I already probably shared or will be sharing after this video. I don't know which way I will be editing them down, but it was this gorgeous card in here, thank you card that I made using Chloe's Creative Cards products. And this will be going inside this box alongside with another couple bits of pieces, which I will be all wrapping in tissue paper, adding them inside the bag. And how gorgeous is this? I absolutely love it. I'm just being very careful and gentle with the Velcro dots because I'm literally only after finishing this, and they just need a little bit of a time before they properly cure onto that cardstock in there. So this is quite roomy, and let me it's 8.5 by 8.5 and 2.5 inches in width, so it's quite a lovely size. And how gorgeous would this be just under the Christmas tree standing like this? But of course you can add handles to this if you want. There's so many ways that you can adjust this to fit your needs and to fit your present. Once you see how I make this, you will see how easy it is to adjust the size as well. So I'm going to have to make one more of these. Let me show you how I made this. So the paper pad that I used to create this, it is this Fresh Florals, and it is from my stash. It's been there for a couple of years now. I just really want to use some of my 12 by 12 paper pads. I have so many of them that I never really use, and I think gift bags, gift boxes is one lovely way of using these up, alongside this making envelopes for cards. But today I will be making a gift box. So this one was the one that I already showed you that I used, and today we are going to be using the one beside it. So I have all my bits and pieces prepared in here. We will need a piece of cardstock that measures 3.5 by 9.5, and I've scored down at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides, folded and burnished all the score lines, and cut out the little squares on all the corners. So this will be the base for our bag. For the sides, these pieces in here, we need 2 that measure 2.5 by 4.5. So these 2 will be attached to the side of this. I'll put this aside for a wee second. We will need 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 9.5 by 9.5 inches. And in here we will have to do a little bit of a scoring. If your paper is directional, make sure you use it the correct way for the scoring. So this side in here really wouldn't matter where I'm scoring, but because of the inside of it will be directional, I'm choosing the top of the cardstock. I'm putting it against the side of my scoreboard, and I'm going to score down at 1 inch in here. Now I'm going to turn this so the 1 inch score line is on the bottom now, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch the whole way down. And now I'm going to turn it so the 1 inch score line is on the top, and I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch again. So basically what I did, I scored it the top at 1 inch in there, and then the 2 sides at 1/2 inch. Now I have another little score line that I need to make. So with the 1 inch, so with this 1 inch flap sitting onto the right hand side here, I'm going to score at 4.5 inches, but only down to that 1/2 inch of a mark. Okay, and again turn it the other side at 4.5 inches down to that 1/2 inch of a mark. It doesn't matter which side of the cardstock you're scoring, because this will be a cut line anyway. You can do this with a pencil line if you wish. Okay, so now I'm going to fold and burnish these 3 score lines that we made. And the first thing that I'm going to be doing, I will remove this little rectangle on the top. So where the 1 inch of a score line and the 1/2 of an inch score line meet, there's a little rectangle there, which we will not need to use. So this will be removed on both sides. And I'm just making sure I'm removing all those score lines as well, so there'll be no bulking in there. The next thing that I will be doing, where we left that little score line there, I'm going to cut that up, creating 2 little tabs, and I just like to cut away that score line in there as well, so it just creates a little gap in there. Again on the other side, just the same. So now we have 2 choices. This will be glued down in here to reinforce the top of our bag. These 2 flaps in here on the top, you can either glue down the same way onto the inside, or you can just cut them away. I like gluing them down because it doesn't only reinforce the sides of my bag, but also tidies up the side real nicely. If I were to cut this away with my scissors, that line might not just be as nice and smooth. So this is what I will be doing first. I'm going to add some glue. The other side as well. And this top 1 inch of a flap in here. The reason I have this 1 inch of a flap in there, because with this reinforce, once I add my Velcro dots, it will just hold up so much nicer and stronger. I really find this really makes a whole lot of a difference. So now I'm just going to burnish these score lines one more time. And we will need 2 pieces of this, one that I have already prepared, okay? So first of all, we are going to be working on these 3 pieces. So what I will do, I will add a little bit of a glue onto these 1/2 an inch tabs on either end of the base of the box, and I will just line this up nice and straight. Making sure it's properly attached, and the same on the other side. And this will be the 2 sides of my box and the base of the box as well. So now we can attach the front and the back of our box to this. So I will be adding it to this little 1/2 an inch of a tab. So I'm just again going to add my glue in here. Line it up. It's easy to line up with the score lines in there. Right. This is quite easy lined up because you just basically line up the score lines on here to the score lines just on that 1/2 an inch of a tab. Okay, so I'm going to be doing exactly the same on this side as well. I don't think I can fit all these onto one shot in here, but you get it what I'm doing in here, just adding the back and the front of my bag to the base. Like so. Now what we have to do is attach the side of the box to these 1/2 an inch of tabs in here. Now you can do it either this way, which is the way that I done it on in here, or if you wish, you could add these flaps onto the outside and it would just decorate the side of your box a little bit more. I have done gift boxes like this before, but for this one I chose to keep it all nice and white on the sides, just like so. So meaning I have to add my glue onto outside of these tabs. If you were to attach them onto the outside of the box, obviously you would be adding your glue onto the inside. And again, gonna come in with my bone folder, adding a real lovely good pressure in there. And that's basically our box in here ready. Now the rest is then just the decorations. I will show you how I made this little bow in here. But first of all, I need to close my box. Now to do this, of course you can just glue this shut if you don't mind someone else just ripping it apart. Basically this is just packaging, so people are not going to be too mad about keeping this anyway. But I like to add either magnetic closure or velcro dots, or sometimes ribbon. You could punch holes in there, and to tie this together with a ribbon, that would be a really nice way of closing these up too. So I'm just using this 1/2 inch of velcro dots, and I'm coming in, I'm just using my grid in here on my table. I'm coming in 2.5 inches on either side, and I'm kind of adding them in the middle of that 1 inch tab. I will show you this in a wee second. Okay, so I added one side of them in there, but 2.5 inches in on either side, and just down in the middle of this 1 inch tab in here. Now what I like to do, I like to attach the other side of these velcros onto here. And now I'm going to line this up nice and centered. I'm going to press down on it. Now I find letting this sit for a while will reinforce those that bond between the cardstock and the adhesive on the glue, on the velcro dots, so then it will be much easier to keep opening and closing them. Now if I was to open this, it would just rip it all apart. I find it, if I let this sit overnight, it will give a proper good bond for it, but at least 10 minutes it definitely needs before you can try gently opening these up. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this closed for now, and I'm going to show you how I made that gorgeous bow. So to make this bow, I used my Silhouette die cutting machine. It's an electronic die cutting machine that I created this file a long time ago, and I've used these bows on so many projects before. I absolutely love using these huge bows on cards, on belly bands, or gift boxes like this. But if you don't have an electronic die cutting machine, you might already have some dies, because I know some companies who came out with large bow dies like this. Or you could just very easily download a template from Google and cut it out by hands. I have done it so many times before I got my electronic die cutting machine. These are really not hard to cut. Okay, so I just added a little bit of a curve onto the either side of the main part of the bow. So I'm just going to add a bit of a glue, and I'm using hot glue in here. And I'm lining this up onto the middle, same on the other side. Just like so. Now I'm going to add a bit of a glue in here. You may notice that this paper color changes under the heat. It turns kind of purple, but it will, once cooled down, go back to nice and bright pink again. This cardstock is actually from the range. It's one of the pink paper pad collection. And fold this over. And now I'm just going to add a bit of glue in the middle, attach it to the base of my bow, trying to get it as centered as I can. and I'm just going to attach it now onto the box. You could go down in the middle. I chose to go to the top part for this one in here. Okay, so the only things left to do in here is to add the pearl in the middle of that bow. Might go with the white one for this. Yeah, I think that's much nicer. So I'm just adding a little dot of a hot glue in here. And attaching the pearl. And so that finishes it off. Just how cute. Like, these are so gorgeous and really not hard to make at all. A good way of using up those 12 by 12 papers, and you can customize this and personalize for so many occasions. You could add handles to it to make them look more like handbags, but how gorgeous would be these just sitting under the Christmas tree, of course using Christmas papers. So there's the two of them side by side. I think these are just so stunning. Like, I really love how these turned out. So I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and I hope you give it a go. And if you liked today's video, please give me the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. And I will be back soon with another lovely tutorial. Until the next time, bye!